Welcome to Everything Football and welcome to another Champions League Fantasy Update video. You see, Chelsea can spend however much money they want, any transfer window. Real Madrid can spend 300 million euros if they want. Barcelona, maybe not so, but usually back in the days, they could spend however much money they want. And guess what? You and your team this week, you can spend however much money you want if you're playing your limitless chip. So we will be going through the best limitless team for this week, match day 2. So if in case you're playing yours, you can take a few tips from this one. Obviously, you might disagree with a couple of things. Feel free to choose your own team. You might prefer Liverpool players, even though they've just lost match day 1. You might think Rangers will bounce back. You might have a better idea on Barcelona players against Bayern. So it's literally up to you, but I'll be giving you the best limitless team for match day 2 according to me. So before we even go any further, also let me know if you agree in the comment section in case you're playing a limitless chip. Before we go any further at all, let's include the three players that I think you have to get in your team before we even before we even talk about anything else. These are the three players you need in your team before we go any further. So let's just put Erling Haaland right there, right away, without even talking about anything else. Erling Haaland gets into the team straight away. He is playing against his former club, Dortmund. Dortmund didn't concede against Copenhagen. Man City put 4 past Sevilla. Haaland with 2 goals. He's already scored 10 goals in the Premier League. He's literally heading to 20 goals already in his City career, and we are just in September. That is actually crazy. That is mad crazy. So I think he has to be in your team. They're playing a home game. I think they'll beat Dortmund. I think it's going to be another high scoring game there. Dortmund managed a 3-0. Man City managed a 4 goals. I think Dortmund has a good chance of scoring, but I can easily see Man City scoring 3 or 4, and Erling Haaland will be right there again. I should have captained him on Tuesday. I didn't. I captained Benzema. He got injured. Haaland could have been the better option. So before you go any further, Haaland has to be in your team. The second one who has to be in your team is Kylian Mbappe. What a game he had against Juventus. 2 goals, some incredible strikes, especially the first goal. It's like they're playing some game at home, like in their backyard with Neymar. Absolutely amazing. Next up is playing against Maccabi Haifa away from home. A Maccabi Haifa team that allowed Benfica 14 shots when they played in match day 1. So absolutely, Mbappe has to be in your team. I think many people will having even if you're not playing your limitless chip, I think you need to get him in your team, especially if the other guy is out injured. Obviously, Benzema is out injured. Mbappe is a perfect replacement, same price and everything. So Mbappe is the second player that you need to have in your team. And since Benzema is out injured, the third player I think you should definitely have in your team is let me put him here, midfielder, Real Madrid, Vinicius. You need to get Vinicius in your team if you're playing if you're playing your limitless chip. You need Vinicius in your team as well. Leipzig are not doing good at all. They just conceded 4 goals against Frankfurt and another 4 goals against Shakhtar. They're now going to Real Madrid away from home. Vinicius scored against Celtic, and without Benzema there, you expect Vinicius to be the go-to guy in terms of goals and assists, and absolutely perfect. Like if we are not playing the limitless chip right now, these 3 players already, you'd be worried about the budget, but with limitless chip, you do not have to worry about the budget at all. So those are the 3 players I think you need in your team, definitely, if you're playing a limitless chip. And even if you're playing your wildcard, I'll do a separate video on that. And I think you need these 3 players as well, at least two of those players. But limitless chip, you need all 3 of them. We can now start building the team from the back. As long as you have those 3 players first, then we can talk right after that. So let's start with the goalkeeper. So first, we need a goalkeeper who's playing on Tuesday and another goalkeeper who's playing on Wednesday. So the one I've chosen from Wednesday is Courtois up against Leipzig. Leipzig looked very toothless against Frankfurt. They did get a goal, but they looked very toothless. Courtois kept a clean sheet against Celtic. I think it was a bit fortunate. I think Celtic could easily have scored. They hit the post and everything. And Courtois playing on the second day, I think he will be a good option as always, and he's always saving shots. He can save penalties. He picks up player of the match awards. Very, very good for your team. So 6 million. We don't even have to worry about how much they are. So let's not even mention the price. But Courtois goes in goal for the second day. And the first day I was thinking about Oblak because Atletico Madrid is playing against Bayer Leverkusen, and Leverkusen looked very toothless against Club Brugge, and Atletico Madrid only considered a penalty in the 95th minute against FC Porto. So I thought it would have been a good pick for that game, but I think it's kind of a doubt right now. So I've decided to go for Alisson. He saved a penalty, did concede 4 goals, but I think against Ajax, even if he doesn't keep a clean sheet, he has a big chance of saving a lot of shots. Ajax will always attack, and Alisson, player of the match awards he can get, especially if he keeps a clean sheet, and he can even pop up with an assist from anywhere. And you know what? He can even pop up with a goal from nowhere. We've seen him scoring before. So I've gone with Alisson and Courtois. Now in this one, you can go for anyone. Like you can literally decide to go for Mendy if, since they've changed the manager and everything. If you decide to go for Mendy against Salzburg, I think it's a good fixture for them there. So you could go for him if you want. Also, Oblak, if he's fit for the game, you could go for him as well. So those are the 2 other goalkeepers I've looked at too. So those are the goalkeepers. Next up, let's go to the defenders. Let's switch to the defenders. So the other defender I've picked, the first defender I've picked is the PSG guy. I have him in my normal team, usual team. I say that he's going to be a very good asset for this season, as always, because of how far forward he plays, and that is Achraf Hakimi. He also got subbed off in the game, and that would be amazing if he's already kept the clean sheet. If like 68th, 70th minute and the clean sheet is intact, you want a defender like that who's going to be taken off in the 70th minute for those clean sheet points to be banked, even if they concede later. And away to Maccabi Haifa, I'm expecting a clean sheet. He did get an assist for my team the other day, so I'm pretty happy with him. So I think you should have him in your team in the Limitless side. The next one is another player that I've always said is a must own. Yes, I think Dortmund could score a goal, but Joao Cancelo is not there because of defense alone and clean sheets. I argued with a couple of people the other day saying Cancelo is not a must own, but you saw against Sevilla 15 points, 2 assists, the ball recoveries, he picked up 9 of them. Absolutely amazing. Even if they don't keep a clean sheet, like the least Cancelo can get, even if they don't keep a clean sheet, is like 6 points. That's the least he can get. So 6 points is almost guaranteed. And if they do keep a clean sheet, I expect City to score 3 or 4. Don't be surprised if Cancelo is amongst the goals or assists. So we are looking for another double figure haul there from Cancelo. So that is my first pick from City in terms of defense, or my second City player, and also my second defender. Now the others, you can argue you can get Chelsea players in defensively. They have changed their manager. Who will start? Is it going to be Chilwell, Cucurella? That's the problem. We are not sure who is going to start. So I am going to go for a player that many people might not have in their Limitless chip. I have gone for AC Milan's Theo Hernandez. Now, they didn't do well in the first game against Salzburg. They didn't keep a clean sheet, but he is on penalties and he's playing at home this time round against Dinamo Zagreb. Dinamo Zagreb only really scored against Chelsea that counter-attacking goal, and especially in the second half, yes, they hit the post, but you wouldn't really predict them to score 2 or 3 goals in a game. And I think Milan have a big chance of keeping a clean sheet in this one. So I've gone for Theo Hernandez right there in terms of defense. I think he would be a good option as well because he's on penalties and a couple of set pieces. The next one is, I've thought deeply about this one. I'm going to go for a Tottenham player because he's picked up an assist. He is on corners. He's picked up an assist for Tottenham in the first game, and the next game is away to Sporting. Now, Sporting is not easy. They just thumped Frankfurt by 3 goals, but Tottenham didn't concede, and Perisic is another attacking threat playing at left wing back. He picked up 9 points in the first match day, so I've gone for Perisic from Tottenham away to Sporting. Now, this is where you can make your own decision. You can go for a Chelsea defender if you prefer James or a Koulibaly instead of Perisic. You can even go for 2 Real Madrid defenders if you prefer. It's up to you, but I'm trying to balance it out, and I've gone for Perisic in terms of Tottenham because they've not considered a goal, and Conte always will keep clean sheets here and there. The contest teams. The other player, if we don't get Oblak, or if he's out injured, he doesn't make the game, I think we need a defender from Atletico Madrid, because as I said, Bayer Leverkusen looked very toothless away to Club Brugge, probably the weakest team in the group, and since they've lost that game, Leverkusen could be the team that finished bottom of that group very easily. Yes, they're at home, but I think they won't put 2-3 goals past Atletico, and they have another chance of keeping a clean sheet. They're only considered from a penalty, so I am going to go for Atletico Madrid, Jose Jimenez. So that is my pick from Atletico Madrid. In terms of defense, you can go without an Atletico Madrid defender if you prefer. It's not a must. You go for him, but I have gone for him as well because he is playing on the 13th of September. Same with Perisic, and the other 3 defenders are playing on 14th. And goalkeeper. One is playing on 13th, the other one is playing on 14th. So I think that's a good balance. That is why I've also gone for Jimenez. So that is the defense complete. We have PSG covered, we have Man City covered, we have AC Milan covered, we have Tottenham covered, and then we have a couple of punts basically from Tottenham and Atletico Madrid. And we also have a Real Madrid defender in terms of Courtois, and we have a Liverpool defender in terms of Alisson. So that is my backline. Let's switch up to midfield. Midfield next. So we've picked Vinicius so far. I think we need to go full City. City will I think they'll score another 3 or 4 goals again. Yes, I can see Royce and the likes of Bellingham getting 1 or 2 goals against City, but City will win, and that means they have to score 3 or 4 goals to win. I thought about Foden because he had a very good return, but I'm going to go for De Bruyne because he's guaranteed starter. He's already been rested in the previous Premier League games, so I think in the next 2 weeks he'll start all the games, and Foden could be rested somewhere. This could be the game he gets rested, and I think it's very good as well as always with Haaland. Whenever Haaland assists, like against Sevilla or gets a goal, it's De Bruyne who assists. So I think that is pretty good. So De Bruyne is my midfield pick from Man City. Again, really up to you. You can decide to go for Foden if you prefer from that. So those are the only 2 midfielders that really consider from there as of now. Now, the next 3 midfielders will really be different from everyone else. So first of all, I've gone for a Bayern Munich midfield. I did say Inter Milan was not going to be easy for Bayern, but who am I kidding, man? This is Bayern Munich. Lewandowski or not, doesn't not matter at all, does not matter. So I've gone for Leroy Sané. I got a goal and an assist. So I'm not actually sure if they gave them the goal because it looked like an own goal. I think they gave him an assist if I'm not wrong. I don't know if they gave him the goal. Oh yeah, it was an assist. So I was right with that one. And then 1 goal scored, and then player of the match. He picked up 13 points against Inter Milan. They now have a home game at Barcelona against Barcelona. It's not going to be an easy game again, as always, but you would expect them to score a couple of goals in that match by Munich. So you can't go for Sané, you can't go for Mane. But last season, Sané really shined. I was shown in the Champions League, and he's already started very well this season. So Sané is my pick from Bayern Munich in midfield. The next one is a player from Napoli. I have gone for Zielinski. He did take the penalty against Liverpool. The first one, he should have taken the second one. I don't know why he didn't take it. He left it for Osimhen. He picked up 18 points against Liverpool. Next up is Rangers, a Rangers team that has just lost 4-0 back-to-back against Ajax and against Celtic in their league. And Napoli have just scored 4 goals against Liverpool. They're looking very sharp up front, in front of goal. They've already scored 4 against Monza in their league this season. I think they also scored 5 or something in another game in their league. Was it against Hellas Verona? So they are scoring a lot of goals, Napoli, this season. They scored 2 against Lazio. Looking really sharp. And away to Rangers does not matter. I think Zielinski will, and he's on penalties as well. Very, very good. He's not that expensive. So you can even afford to get him in your wildcard team or your just a normal transfer if you prefer, if you're not playing a limitless chip. So 7 million. The next one is a punt. It's a really, really out of the blue punt. Chelsea have changed their manager and they have Salzburg at home. Yes, AC Milan only managed 1 goal, but I think Chelsea will really have to bounce back. I've not gone for any of their defenders because I think Salzburg will score, and I'm not really liking Chelsea's defense right now. I think with the new manager, we have to wait and see. But I've gone for Raheem Sterling in midfield at 9.5 million against Salzburg at home. He was getting into so many good positions against Dinamo Zagreb. Sometimes Aubameyang could have picked him. He should have picked him a couple of times. He didn't, but he's already scored a couple of goals for Chelsea, twice against Leicester in the league. He scored again against Southampton. He scored against I've forgotten the other team, but he's looking really sharp as well, Sterling, and I think he'll definitely start whoever the manager is. And again, I think it's a good balance in terms of 13th and 14th. Vinicius, De Bruyne, and Sterling are playing on the 14th, and Sané and Zielinski are playing on the 13th. So that's a good balance as well there in case we need some 4 players from the bench to come on. So that is a complete midfield. We have covered Real Madrid. We have covered Man City, then Sané, Zielinski, and Sterling. Now, the other thing you can do in this one, you can avoid bringing on Sterling or Zielinski if you prefer, and you can have Modric or someone else from Real Madrid if you think they're going to thump Leipzig as well in that fixture. So that is another thing you can do. So we already talked about Haaland and Mbappe, and the final strike I have gone for is another PSG player. I think they'll run riot. This is literally up to you. I have gone for Neymar because it takes penalties as well. But if you prefer, you can go for Messi. Some people are in love with Messi and they just prefer having Messi in their team. You can't go for it. I think they all return. I think Neymar and Mbappe will return the most. So he could have easily had more goals. The save that goalkeeper made that was incredible. And obviously Mbappe should have passed the ball to him a couple of times. So Neymar completes our forward line with Mbappe and Haaland. I saw someone else asking me if Mbappe, Neymar, you can have Messi there, but I think Haaland has to be there in your team. Haaland is exceptional. So that is the final team in terms of the limitless chips. So I think it's a good balance. On 13th, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 players playing on the 13th. And then we have 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players playing on the 14th. I think that's decent enough balance because on the second day is when the players that we really want are playing. I've talked about the players you can get instead of these ones, a couple of Chelsea defenders if you prefer. You can go for another Madrid attacker if you prefer. You can even go for a Foden if you prefer. All that, I think they'll all be good options. So Hakimi against Maccabi Haifa, Cancelo against Dortmund, Theo Hernandez against Dinamo Zagreb, Perisic traveling to Sporting, Jimenez traveling to Leverkusen, Sterling against Salzburg, Zelinski against Rangers, Sane against Barcelona, De Bruyne against Dortmund, Vinicius against Leipzig, Haaland as well against Dortmund, his former club, Mbappe and Neymar against Maccabi Haifa, and then Courtois, Alisson as the goalkeepers. I mean, some other people will talk about Lewandowski against his former club. Could be an option if you prefer. But for me, I think Neymar and Mbappe, you need two strikers for that game. It's very, very good. So, in terms of the captaincy, on the first day, which is the 13th, I'd be very tempted to go for someone like Asane against Barcelona. I think he will probably score in that one. Or if you really want a differential on that day, that's where now you can take a differential, knowing that on the 14th you have some big boys coming up. I'd probably captain Mbappe or Neymar playing against Maccabi Haifa, probably Mbappe. So that is a limitless team selection. Let me know if you agree. Let me know which ones you disagree with. I've already done a video. If you're not playing your limitless chip or your wildcard, I've already done a video talking about the transfer tips for your next match day. If you want to, if you're looking for a couple of players to bring on, click on the video on the left side. And if you're thinking about, if you still haven't played your limitless or wildcard and you're thinking about the best time to play it, click on the video on the right, and I'll catch up with you on the next.